Oatman, Arizona is one of those places you just have to see to believe. It's a Wild West ghost town that has wild burros roaming the streets, and once a year, people racing beds down the Mother Road, Route 66. It's weird, historic, and wildly entertaining. We had a blast. Let's go check it out. We spent the weekend in Oatman, Arizona, about a 2.5 hour drive from Las Vegas, and located right on historic Route 66, to experience the world-famous bed races, explore the town's history, and see if it lives up to all of the hype. David and Mikaela took a break to rest in the shade and hide out from the crowds, so I took advantage of their rest break and took a walk down Main Street. Here's some interesting facts I learned along the way. Oatman started as a gold mining boomtown in the early 1900s. At one point, thousands of people lived here, all hoping to strike it rich in the surrounding Black Mountains. Back then, this tiny town had hotels, saloons, stores, and a whole lot of optimism. The town is named after Olive Oatman, a young pioneer girl who was captured by Native Americans in the 1850s and later became famous for her facial tattoos. Her story made national headlines, and her name eventually became part of the town's identity. When the gold ran out, most of the people left, and Oatman almost became a true ghost town. But then Route 66 came through, and this road that I'm walking on right now is part of the longest remaining stretch of original, unchanged Route 66. When I-40 was built in the 1950s, Oatman was bypassed, which is why it still feels frozen in time. Today it survives by leaning hard into its Wild West roots, Route 66 history, and a little bit of fun. Honestly, that's what made this such a great stop. Now let's talk about the reason that half this town is dressed in costumes and yelling. The Oatman bed races. Once a year, teams race decorated beds straight down Route 66. And yes, these are real beds, real wheels, real people pushing them as fast as possible while trying not to wipe out in front of a crowd, which we did actually see a few people do. The bed races started as a fun, small-town tradition and somehow turned into one of Oatman's biggest events of the year. Teams dress up, going all in on themes, and take this way more seriously than you'd expect. There's rules, judges, and definitely bragging rights involved. We saw people walking down the street with their medals long after the races were over. The goal is simple: get your bed from start to finish as fast as possible without losing your rider, your wheels, or your dignity. At the midpoint, teams have to stop and make a bed that is sitting on a table by placing a fitted sheet, blanket, and all 4 pillows in their cases before heading back to the start-finish line. This is easier said than done on a historic road that was definitely not designed for bed racing. What makes this even better is where it happens, right down original Route 66, surrounded by historic buildings, cheering crowds, and the occasional confused burro wondering why humans are doing, well, whatever this is. It's loud, it's chaotic, it's kind of ridiculous, and somehow completely perfect for Oatman. If you're planning a visit, this is absolutely the weekend to do it. Just expect for tons of crowds, lots of noise, and a ton of laughter. And then there are the wild Burrows, arguably the real locals here. These Burrows are descendants of the donkeys used by miners back in the gold rush days. When the mine shut down, the miners left without their donkeys. Over time, they just became part of Oatman. Today they roam the streets freely, block traffic whenever they feel like it, and casually walk through town like they own the place. Because honestly, they sorta do. They're used to people and usually pretty calm, but they are wild animals. They don't follow rules and they don't care about your personal space. And if you're holding food, they will absolutely notice. One really important thing to know is that burros can see dogs as coyotes, which means things can turn dangerous quickly. That's why you'll see David carrying Mikaela in a lot of our footage. Keeping dogs at a safe distance is the best way to keep everyone calm and safe. And that's a good seg into what you should know if you're planning to bring a dog into Oatman. Oatman can be a fun stop with your dog. You just need to plan ahead. First, the burros. Even if your dog is calm, the burros might not be. Keeping your dog a safe distance is not being dramatic. It's just safer for everyone. Crowds are another thing to think about, especially during events like the bed races. The streets got crazy busy, loud, and a lot of chaos, which can be overwhelming for dogs. A short visit, frequent breaks, and watching your dog's comfort level go a long way. Heat is also another big factor here. There's not a lot of shade and the pavement gets hot fast, so bring your dog shoes, water, and be ready to take breaks or call it early if needed. The good news is that Oatman is very walkable. There are lots of outdoor spaces and many people are used to seeing dogs here. A few shops even let us bring Mikaela in with us. Just stay aware, keep your dog close, and don't be afraid to pick them up if things get too crowded. Oatman is one of those places that's equal parts history, weird, and pure Route 66 charm. From wild burros and bed races to walking one of the longest original stretches of the Mother Road. It's weird, unforgettable, and absolutely worth a stop. Just remember, those burros are the ones in charge.